Welcome back once again from Ghost Start, and I remain Angela Daku on Daybreak Africa on KAFTAN television. And we talked about social media impact, effect on relationships, self-esteem in society. We also talked about family and relationships, modern family dynamics, relationships and communication strategies. And now we're going to be talking about personal development and wellness, importance of self-improvement, wellness practices. And we still actually have Bimbo Ogungbe, a social commentator and an in-house analyst, to do justice to this topic. Well, going straight to this particular topic, I actually like the fact that if you look at the topics we've talked about today, they one way or the other have linked to each other. Right, yes. Now we talked about social media impact, we talked about family and relationship. Now we're talking about personal development and wellness. And in all, if you look at it, we are talking about today. The civilized world of today is quite different from what we had in the past, sometime in the past. And this is where we had the issue turn out of social media, and then the modern family, like we talked about. So right now we want to talk about personal development and wellness. On your own path, how do you think one can actually begin the journey of personal development and wellness? Because it is one thing to be disciplined, to say you want to actually start this journey, and actually then you can talk about consistency later, but at least to start the journey to begin with. How do you think one can prepare themselves to begin the journey of personal development and wellness?
Thank you very much. Personal development, it's something that every human being get himself doing at the very beginning unknowingly. From age 0, a child is born. He learns how to bring his mouth to the mother's breast to eat. There's nobody that will teach him so long before we get to know that. That is a personal development for that child. After that, the child learns to crawl. From crawling, the first step. From first step, the first word. From first word, the first sentence is developing. Then from first sentence, first word, even before that time, he or she would have received the first spank for doing what is wrong. And his brain will tell him that thing that comes all of a sudden is because of something. Maybe he did not remember, he did it again. That spank comes again. The thing will instill it in his brain or her brain that get mature boy, get grown up girl, you should not be doing that. You should not bite the nipple of the mommy's breast again. You understand? Personal development starts from age 0. And in real life sense, personal development continues that you keep taking it from others until when you get to something like 22 years old. From that spank to crèche, kindergarten, nursery, primary, secondary, technical college, tertiary institution, NYSC, first employment, you keep taking that development from somebody else. All those years, you keep taking it. It's other people that are putting it in you. But as soon as you step into a kind of a lifestyle that is called marriage, you are the one that is now going to what? Start developing another person. So, personal development is a thing we get involved with, whether we like it or not, intentionally, unintentionally, from age 0 to marriage. And when we got married, we now in turn start developing others, giving the development to others. Now, as a person, from that age till that time that I mentioned, a lot of people contributed into the life of an individual. And this individual will keep taking it in, soaking it in, to make him what he or she is supposed to be. It is not only in academics. It can also be in skill acquisition. It may not be in skill acquisition. It can also be in values, mental development, capacity building, resourcefulness. All these are materials for personal development, which every individual must go through intentionally or unintentionally. So, it is a scheme in the life pattern that everybody must go through. However, if there's anybody who deliberately stunts that progress, that person will pay for it in the future. Because it's a kind of a progressive development. But if anybody stunts it and choose not to allow it to continue, where that person stops will tell the person in the future that this is where you are. Take for instance, somebody who refused to go to school when he is in primary school, and for that purpose he was running away from class, or she is running away from class, and they now say, okay, because you are not good academically, let's take you to what would you like to learn? We like to learn handwork, we like to learn trading, we like to learn skill, and he started loafing around, playing. All he just wants you to do is to be playing. And unfortunately, while playing, he lost the privilege of making use of how to make people happy. Because if you know how to play, you know how to make people happy. Yeah, if you love how to play, definitely you must know how to make people. If he lost that, he could not make people happy, then he's finished. There are many ways people can develop themselves, whether they deliberately push themselves into that scheme, or unconsciously they found themselves there. Now, for parents, they should find a way to guide a child. And even for parents that looks as if they are far behind, if they can still get some time to regain some lost ground, they can attempt it, but not at the detriment of the growth of their children. Because some parents, they are attempting some things that eventually cause problems to the development and the growth and the development of the children. Take for instance, a parent that for one reason or the other abandoned school, sorry to use that instances, got pregnant while in secondary school, now had babies, then after 6-7 years, 2 kids, you now think that what is the next thing? And people are now going to university. So many people that have tertiary academic qualification and is getting job. It's not as if I am very daft. It's not as if I'm not good academically. If I can go back to it, I will. I can. And you now start taking extra lessons. There's nothing wrong in it. But mind you, who is going to be looking after those children? You can see. So there's going to be a real serious, what I can call distraction. A serious distraction. Because what he or she is supposed to have finished quite a decade ago, it's now going back there. Yeah, there are some of us that did that. Yes, there are some of us that did that. But I can tell you, some people still got their fingers burnt. Because while they have to go for extra lesson, they have to go for the part-time studies, they have to, children suffered for it. The husband has to fit in. And unfortunately, the person that even go for studies got lost in the hand of a lecturer, unfortunately. Because things are happening, mind you. So where are we going is that Everything has its own time and its season. Personal development has to be a thing that every parent must, I will use the word pilot the child, pilot their children to go through it and ensure that they assist them to attain that goal, because that is the main focus. That's the main thing. So that is it.
So you agree with me that there are two faculties as to the mind of every child when we're talking about personal development? We have the conscious and the subconscious. Would you say that what would you say is the faculty of the two that regulates personal development? Is it the subconscious and the conscious? Going back to where you started from when a child starts to learn to suck from his or her mother's breast, and those things that comes based on stimuli.
Yeah.
And would you call that the aspect of from where a child starts to develop personal development? Don't you think, on the contrary, it is the conscious effort of a child to go out of his or her comfort zone and the stimuli that are being prompted for that child to have been said to have started develop him or herself?
Thank you for the question. I ended that statement, the conversation I was making, I ended it with there is time for everything and there is season. When you drop a seed inside the ground, it is not photosynthesis that will make that seed to sprout. Am I right? Because photosynthesis will rely on the sunlight getting to the leaf.
Yes.
But the seed that you drop inside the sound, definitely it is not photosynthesis that will make it to sprout. So something will make it to sprout. That is the thing that is with the seed. Every human being has what God has put inside us, which you either call the conscience or you call the subconsciousness. It's inside to know what is good and what is bad, to know what you should go for. A child that is crying, they dance, they use him, they take him to dance, they still crying. Eventually, when the mother put her mouth in the breast, he continues sucking the breast, he stopped crying. Nobody heard from that child that I want to eat too, but he's sending that message. But another one that is crying, they put breast, he's still crying. That time it is not hunger, it's something else. So we know how to pass message, how to get message. It is a thing that God put there to know what is good and to know what is evil. Now, as a person, when it comes to this development stage of life, as the person is going, consciously, when the person has grown up, maybe age 10, 11, you should go to school. Oh yeah, go to school, primary school, come back. But before go to school, they will hold the person by hand, take the person there. I mean, that one is subconscious. Gets to the class, the child will say, A, B, you are not talking. A, yeah, say it. From unconscious to conscious. So that seed that is dropped in the ground, it is not photosynthesis that will sprout it. It is what is inside the seed. So that is the subconscious that starts the personal development. So it is from there, when the seed now sprouts, that the seed will grow to bringing out a leaf that photosynthesis will now start working on, feeding the root to become a tree. So that is how it is. So there is season that when we were born, we start from the unconscious stage. When the child does not know, But for one reason or the other, unconsciously, they are making him to know it. Unconsciously, he's getting to know it. Unconsciously, he take the first step, he fell down. It will be smiling. He will stand up again and try it again. He falls down. Unconsciously, he's getting to know that he's learning to walk. Some will even be using it to play. Unconsciously. He's growing. He's developing. Personal development starts from unconsciousness. Then a time will come, consciously, you need to put effort, concentration, you have to give it the real focus, energy, and everything that you have. Because by that time, nobody is going to beg you, if you like. Now you are 10 years old. You think somebody will beg you to take your book and go to school on Monday morning. They just tell you, what are you still doing? You say you are not going. The next thing, cane. To wake the thing inside him. That tomorrow, if you want to do it again, this thing is always in this house. So that is how it is. It has to be so. It is a must. Personal development is a must for every human being. It's a must. However, if there's anybody that now gets to the point of conscious level of developing him or herself, and he now choose to stunt it, then the person will pay for it. That is what I said. So it is a very, 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 very important part of a lifestyle of every man to ensure that they develop themselves. It's a thing that starts from 0 age to as much as 20-something, especially when the person gets married. And it's in different areas: academic, moral, culture, tradition, skill, education, fashion, anything. So that is it.
Well, when we talk about personal development and wellness, I want you to see how you can link these two, especially talking about the part of values and morals. We know for a fact that discipline is one very important virtue that every human being ought to have, else they just start misbehaving without control. However, we still see how people struggle to be disciplined on a daily basis, especially on the part of values and morals, and this in turn sometimes affects their wellness. So how do you think such person can come out of it? At this stage, we're no more talking about children, we're talking about fully grown adults who are struggling to probably leave some sort of attitude or characteristics about them and try to focus. But some who try, they tend to fall and stand up and then fall and stand up, while some don't even bother at all. But at the end of the day, how do you think an individual can actually cultivate discipline, and how does it affect positively the part of wellness for that individual? We have just like 1.5 minutes to go.
Sincerely, the word discipline. I have an elderly friend many years ago. He called me. He has a nickname he normally call me. He called me and said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You want to prove to me that you are disciplined?" I said, "Well, to the extent, sir, I think I am." He said, "What is discipline?" I told him. He said, "No." He said, "Discipline is when you refuse to take what belongs to you when others have not gotten." That day, I think it should be 1998, when I had it, I quickly went to check the dictionary. It's not there. What he told me is not in the dictionary. When I thought of it truly, that what is discipline? Is it not when you are sure that something belongs to you, is yours, it should be given to you? Then you look at others, they don't have, and you tell them to give it to them. That is discipline. How many people understand discipline like that? When we're talking about discipline, some will say it's my right. So, based on what you have said, the way out is for everybody to be well determined. It's an issue. We'll come back to consciousness. Real full-scale determination. Right from the depth of the heart to do what is expected at the right time, the right way, to the right person. At the right time, the right way, to the right person. Irrespective of the height that you are. If there's anything you are doing at the right time, in the right way, but not to the right person, that discipline is not complete. And if there is anything you are getting that is your entitlement, but others have not gotten because it is not their own entitlement, take note, it's not their entitlement, but you, it is your entitlement to get it, but while others have not got it. That is what makes people to attack somebody who is rich, because it displays so much affluence, opulence, wealth, while others are groaning in pain. Then it leads to attack. They will look at him, then they will decide that let us attack him. He doesn't do anything wrong to them, but unfortunately it's simply because he's not disciplined. And somebody will say, why is he not disciplined? The way is displaying the wealth. That is the indisciplined part of it. Because the way he displays the wealth is slying those that did not have something to eat. And because they want to get something to eat, then they choose to do what is wrong. So, anybody, everybody should decide in their heart to do what is right at the right time to the right person. The government, the place of work, the managing directors, the chief executives, the supervisors, they should do what is right at the right time to the right person. That is what is called discipline. And there is one thing I normally tell people. Life is not the same thing as the movies that we do watch in 2-3 hours and to finish. Life is not like that. Life is a real stage drama. Life is a real what? Stage drama. It doesn't allow for editing. It doesn't allow for tricks. And it doesn't accommodate fiction. If you need to fall on the stage, you will have to fall. It's a real event that doesn't accommodate editing. There's no even room for it. And not only that, there's no room for film tricks. It's stark realities. So if there's any story you've heard about people who are successful, take note, these people who are successful, they have their loneliness time. They have their loneliness time. They have those times that they were humbled during that stage drama of life. They did not just stood up and they get to stardom. If you have people that got to stardom, you don't need to follow their stories. So. The reason why you don't need to follow their stories is that because you don't get to stardom when they born you. As soon as you were born, that was not when you. Some they were born into wealth. That is true. That is a truth. But if you doesn't belong to that class, don't think in that direction. Yeah, don't think in that direction, because if you think in that direction, you will be acting a wrong script on your stage life drama. So it will be a wrong. So that's the kind of story I can tell anybody. Okay. Make sure you act the script that is handed to you from heaven. Don't live in fantasies, all these make-believe of social media and all this easy come, lucky go. That is not the true way life is.
Well, thank you so much for your educative, contributions this morning.
That's
It
it.
was quite enlightening. Well, this is where we'll say goodbyes for the discussion parts, and definitely we have the last package prepared for you, which is sports. Then after sports, we'll come say goodbye. So do go for sports. We'll be right back.